So, Femi, what do you think here? Heisman Trophy, break it down for us, your criteria, et cetera, how you're betting this right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously last year was another year where we saw a non-quarterback win it, which we had not seen in the playoff era outside of the Alabama guys. Like Derrick Henry won it in 2015. Devontae Smith won it in 2020. I think a lot of that was like Devontae Smith was sick, but like you look at Mac Jones's numbers, like you might be able to relitigate that and say that Mac Jones probably should have won the Heisman, given the fact that I think he was like the most efficient quarterback of the decade. But hey, we don't need to relitigate all that stuff. Congratulations to Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy winner. But Travis Hunter winning it last year, the unicorn, do everything wide receiver cornerback for a Colorado team that was projected to be bad, but ended up being like solid, went 9-3. I think a lot of people have been interested in Travis Hunter had they known that Colorado was going to win 9 games, because like that's the crux of the handicap. You need the team success. Now, you don't have to be a national title contender. Like you don't need to be playing for the national championship, but like we see, like you need to be winning at least 9 games to win the Heisman Trophy. So I think if you're going to sort of like let the market do the legwork for you, like I'd be looking at players on teams with win totals of worst case scenario 8.5, but theoretically you want to kind of be 9 or higher, like teams that are thought of as playoff contenders or national title contenders. Also teams that are rated highly. I was talking about this stat yesterday. ESPN's Bill Connolly, he does the SP Plus, which is a college football rating that he kind of compiles that puts in recruiting rankings and returning production and overall team strength all into like a composite rating to kind of decipher who are the best teams in the country. And he listed all the way down to the worst team in the country. Like that is a statistic that you should be using. Like, shout out to Bill Connolly at ESPN for doing that. 8 of the last 11 winners have been in the top 10 preseason of the SP Plus. Now, Travis Hunter was not. Neither was Caleb Williams. Neither was Lamar Jackson. But like you get where we're coming from. It's teams that are thought of as really good teams. So using that and using the win totals, I think is a good start for thinking about who can actually win the Heisman Trophy or which kind of team produces a Heisman Trophy winner. So of course your usual suspects are in that category. But for me, looking at the quarterbacks, I want to look this year. I want to get a little bit crazy and look at the sight unseen guys before the season begins. I'm not saying they are 100% going to win it, but the guys who we have not seen play like a full season, those are the guys that I want to look at, because I think we might see early on, whoa, look what this player just did. Look what Julian Sayin just did. Look what Ty Simpson just did. And I think that's a guy that could see the price shorten even more than it has over the summer. Now, the Simpson price is shortened quite a bit. I don't want to bet him right now. Kind of missed the boat on that one. Sayin at 18-1, like you can make the case. I'm a little bit gonna back off just because I'm gonna go for the longer price guy, and it's the guy that I was kind of joking about yesterday, the Oregon quarterback Dante Moore, who is a 5-star prospect with a team, that is loaded.
You bleeped all over him yesterday. So I interrupted when you said that. So I want you to kind of like, because this will be a great social video, I want you to kind of like do that again, the intro into Dante Moore, so we can cut it for social. But you like bleeped all over him yesterday. Like it does need to be said.
So I did. I didn't even like intentionally do that. I don't know why I said his name so derisively, but I happened to do it. But I was also talking about who can win the national title. I don't think Oregon can do that. Not with it. But I do think they can produce a Heisman Trophy winner. So when we're looking at these sight unseen quarterbacks, like we were mentioning, Julian Sayin, Ty Simpson, those guys can definitely win. I want a longer price, though, and the longest price of those players that are on teams that produce Heisman Trophy winners is Oregon's Dante Moore, who's sitting at 25-1 right now at BetMGM. Like, if you look at the way quarterbacks have been playing at Oregon, it's gone over the last few years when Dan Lanning has really cranked this thing up to being a national title contending team. The last 2 years with Bo Nix, incredibly efficient. Bo Nix, I believe his junior year or the second to last year, because it might have been like his first senior year technically, but his second to last season in Eugene, he was 4th in the country in quarterback efficiency in QBR. His final year, when he was neck and neck with Jaden Daniels the whole season to win the Heisman Trophy, he was 2nd just behind Jaden Daniels in quarterback efficiency. Like, why can't, and also Dylan Gabriel last year was, I believe, the number 1 quarterback in efficiency in QBR in the country. Like Oregon, the way they play offense, and shout out to their offensive coordinator, Will Stein, it's efficient, it's ruthless, and this team puts up big numbers. Dante Moore, who coming out of high school, once again, 5-star recruit, big-time prospect out of high school, is now surrounded with other really talented players because we know Dan Lanning recruits his ass off. That is a team that has enough high-profile games, has the team quality that's high enough with a win total of 10.5 that can get you Dante Moore to win the Heisman Trophy. Like Arch Manning, I understand Texas has big expectations. That's great. He's 6-1. I don't want to bet someone sight unseen at 6-1. I'd rather bet it at 25-1, or in Ty Simpson's case, a few weeks ago at 60-1. Like, those are the bets you want to be making on these guys who are sight unseen. Now, the top of the board, and why I'm like not as bullish on Nussmeier as I was last year, because if you remember and watching us and listening to us all throughout last season, I was talking about Garrett Nussmeier to win the Heisman Trophy. Defense let him down. They didn't win enough games. He was never in the picture. Now he's 9-1. I don't really like LSU that much. Like, I'm just going to go out there and say it. I don't trust Brian Kelly. He's on the hot seat. I think that thing has a chance to go off the rails, even though Nussmeier is a guy that I think a lot of NFL people like. And I think he's really fun to watch because he's always pushing the ball down the field. I don't want to do it. Cade Klubnik, I think he can win the Heisman. The betting market thinks so as well. Drew Aller, 18-1, maybe, but Penn State might blow teams out to where he doesn't have to be the guy that puts up the gaudy statistics. I like Dante Moore's setup at 25-1. We can talk about some of the other exciting players as well, but just off of the jump, Dante Moore is the bet that I would make right now over at BetMGM.
So I love that. I think you explained it really well. Honestly, like, the question that I had out of that was not Dante Moore related. It sounds like, are you going to like Clemson against LSU in week 1?
I will like Clemson against LSU. I think Clemson, like, their front seven and specifically their defensive line, like going back onto their national title winning days, was always strong. It's strong again this year. I think they control the line of scrimmage in that game. Like, I will like Clemson to beat LSU.
Fascinating. Okay, so Dante Moore at 25-1. I guess that's the guy that you like the most. You bet on this Tuesday. Femi, you did kind of reference there are some other names a little bit further down the board that you might find interesting. Who are they and why?
So, yeah, these are names that I would not bet, but I think they're going to be names that a lot of people are really excited about. And, I mean, I'm going to be the cold blanket guy, the cold water guy, but like DJ Lagway, who we just mentioned, he's already banged up. Florida is not expected to be good. The win total is 7.5. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't be good. We just saw Travis Hunter win the Heisman Trophy when Colorado's win total was 5.5 last year. They go 9-3, and he shines and wins the trophy. So this doesn't mean that they can't win. I just wouldn't bet it, given the fact that he's already amongst kind of like the shorter prices to win this award, sitting currently at 18-1. I'm not betting 18-1 on a guy that has a win total of 7.5. That just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe put him at 100-1, I'll bet him. But at 18-1, no, I'm not doing that. Lenoris Sellers. I'm excited to watch Lenoris Sellers. The NFL is excited about Lenoris Sellers. He might be Donovan McNabb 2.0. Who knows? Like, he's a big-time athlete, big, strong, really good. South Carolina's win total 7.5. Like, those, I just cannot invest in those kinds of players. If you want some long shot guys, other side unseens, maybe it's an Austin Simmons out of Ole Miss, who I know Tyler's talked about quite a bit over the summer. He's at 40-1 at BetMGM. CJ Carr of Notre Dame, I don't really trust it because quarterbacks at Notre Dame don't really put up big stats. They like to run the football, but like, that's another sight unseen guy right now who's at a big price. Maybe you want to go that direction. But I think Austin Simmons for me would be the guy. And maybe, I mean, he's not listed at BetMGM right now, but I mean, amongst all these quarterbacks, the guy I'm most excited to see this year is probably Bryce Underwood of Michigan. People talk about this dude like he was a freaking high school football legend. Yeah, like he is like supposed to be like the next coming.
The number one recruit. Like the number one
recruit
in the country.
Now, the problem is that true freshmen typically don't win this award, but at some point, like these like never happened, they sometimes happen. So he's not listed right now. If he plays well early on in the season, I'm sure he'll eventually get listed, but that's just a name to keep in mind as we get closer to the season. Michigan should be much better than what they were last year. Defensively, they should be really, really good. Offensively, if he's as good as everybody thinks he is, a dual threat quarterback, maybe he can put up big numbers for the Wolverines.
Any love for the Rock's son?
Jaden Maia.
Is it Maiyava or Maivia? I'm going to call him Maivia.
It's Maiyava, but I think if we call him Maivia, it's more fun.
Yeah, if you smell what Jaden Maivia, Rocky Maiavia's son, he's not the Rock's son, but
no. But it'd be really cool if he was. I don't trust Lincoln Riley.
Honestly, he should lie and say he is.
Yeah, he's the new Brahma Bull. I don't trust
for the People's team, USC.
Yeah, no, they're not the people's team this year. I think his teams are just soft. I don't really trust that the defense, which I know was a little bit improved last year.
I like it. I like USC this year.
I don't know. They're going to have to prove it to me. I feel like we've done this with Lincoln Riley. It's where we think that it's going to be better. And even last year, they have Miller Moss and the defensive coordinator now is in there. It's no longer Alex Grinch, the Grinch who stole defense, who can't coordinate defense. Like, I can't get there. I think there's something fundamentally wrong with how Lincoln Riley runs his programs to where I don't think his defenses will ever be good. They'll put up big numbers, but I don't think that's going to be enough to win enough games in a really good conference.